marked as such tissue. Now let's learn how to recognize the tissues first. What we see here is squamous epithelium, some metaplastic changes and dysplasia in the upper parts of the epithelium with granulation tissue, missing parts of this epithelium on multiple, actually a huge field where this epithelium is missing. Here, a deeper glandular structure. Here, keratinized squamous epithelium again, and missing parts of it further to the slide, along with one which is again covered by keratinizing portions. Now, if I should make a suggestion, it appears to be surrounding something which is rich in stromal elements. So this way of surrounding, we will not consider skin epithelium. Why? First thing, because we don't see any appendages, any adnexus. We don't see hair follicles, we don't see fatty and sweaty glands. So I suggest that's a mucosa layer of an organ. And where mucosa is looking this way is the esophagus, is the cervix and the vagina, and also is the anal duct. Next to the anal duct, usually we may see lots of glands of crypts, which are from the large intestine. We don't see such here. It's merely not esophagus. So we suggest that it's cervix. And by the method of exclusion, we reach the idea that there are lots of glandular structures on the inside, which are normal to be found inside in the cervix. Fibrovascular stroma, which is merely well observed. And there is a specific field in here, which is having sort of necrotic changes, erosive ones, where only the underlying soft tissues are observable, along with formation of fields of granulation tissue. Here, newly formed vessels, mixed with chronic inflammatory infiltrate. And later, this layer of squamous epithelium is restored. It's keratinized, which should not be observed inside in the cervix. But due to inflammatory changes, it might be observable sometimes. As far as you can see, the field of epithelium is lacking on a huge area. Here, a deeper cervical gland starts to form, perhaps on the transition line of the endocervix and ectocervix. And here further, we may observe again some squamous epithelium up to the end of the cervix, which might be marked here or deeper cut. So we suggest that by this process and by the changes that we observed here, this is cervical tissue along with the epithelium, which is missing on a couple of portions. And since it's desquamated, missing, and it's proceeding with mixture of necrosis, acute and chronic inflammatory infiltrate, both together in the form of granulation tissue with lots of newly formed vessels, as you can see them here, lots of lymphocytes. All these blue dots are actually lymphocytes. And epithelioid cells or macrophages should be observed here and there, like here, here, also here, a huge field of these, also here. These are the macrophages, which are with a little bit more transparent nucleus, larger, and the cell itself is much larger than the lymphocyte itself, which should be as large as an erythrocyte. Take a look at the bluish dots and reddish dots, they're pretty much the same size. This is marked as cervical erosion. Now here you might be asked, what is the reason for cervical erosion? What are the inflammatory changes inside in the mucosal layer and the underlying soft tissue layers, which are the causes included in the etiology of these changes. Pretty much that's all about this idea. We should pay attention at the epidermis here. Very often at the cervix, we expect to see coilocytes, which are a little bit enlarged squamous epithelial cells that are marking infection of papillomavirus. I don't see such fields here, so I don't think there are. No. And they have very specific inclusions in the cytoplasm, which are the Caldry inclusions. We already discussed them, but we don't see them here. Okay, so pretty much that is all about cervical erosion. Now let's continue with the next one, which should be one